So are we ready?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, very good. So I'm Carol LeBlanc. I'm a photo coach and organizer. I just kind of fell into this role. And so my business is Creative Photo Rescue. It's a small business that I have just me, myself, and I. And I'm hoping to grow a little bit once I retire from nursing. There we go. There I am. So my name's Carol LeBlanc. Like I said, I've been in nursing for way too many years. I'm not going to say that number. And I've loved photos all my life. My parents are from the Azores, so a small island, Fayal, and she didn't have any pictures. My mother had no pictures from the wedding, or she had one picture from her childhood. So I always treasured any pictures that we could get from back then. And I'm doing some genealogy research, trying to dig up things. I found some documents, but so I need some help with that. If anybody knows anybody I can talk to about that.
Oh, we know someone.
In 1997, I became a scrapbooker. My next door neighbor said, "Oh, I'm having a little party, come on over." And next thing I know, we're playing with pictures and adhesive and tools, and I loved it. I fell in love with it. And at that point, I had my son who was 5, so I had tons of pictures already. So it was a good opportunity to start scrapbooking. So I do scrapbooking events where 50 to 70 women in general. I have some men that come, a few good men, I say. But when I do these events, I do help people scrapbook, but they're all coming up to me with their phones. How do my phone's not working, I can't figure this out. So I kind of became the go-to person for digital, which is how I fell into all this. And I hope to retire from nursing and then do this full time. And I love talking to people about it and teaching people, especially like iPhones, and I'm learning a little bit about Android so I can teach people. That's kind of a different animal for me, but I'm hoping to be able to do groups with Android too and teach people the settings and how to delete pictures and duplicates and all that. So, remember when? Yeah. I think most of you probably remember. You find your photomat, it was in the middle of a shopping plaza, and that's where you drove up and dropped off your film. And maybe if you were lucky, in 7 to 10 days, you got some good pictures. But usually, half of them were blurry, or you got someone's arm, or cut someone's head off. So we've come a long way from that, for sure. And now we've gone the opposite direction, where everything is digital, and it's getting difficult for people, I think. So this is just some general information. So the first iPhone really came out around 2008, where people were actually starting to buy them. So many iPhones. Every time you turn around, there's a new one coming out, and people have to get the latest model. It's really a bit out of control. But smartphones are very useful to have, like Matt just said. He'll have a smartphone, so if he gets any emails, he can answer them. So you can take pictures and all that. It's all great until the morning it doesn't turn on. Yeah. So you have to really be careful with your cameras and your iPhones and your Androids, all of them. The cameras in the iPhone are so good that people are buying film. There's no film cameras to be bought, really, unless they're antiques. But a lot of people are still buying the digital, 35 millimeter, the SLRs and all that, but no film. And this is the biggest thing. Consumer education hasn't kept up, right? So people have no idea. When things get updated in their phone, they really don't have any idea what's going on, or how they're buying separate things to look for duplicates in their phone. You don't need to. There's usually a spot where you can find an album that's duplicates, and then you can go in and delete them. But half the country doesn't know that, according to my information. So when you manage digital photos, unfortunately, we all have thousands of pictures on our phone. They say the average person has 3,000. I beg to differ. Does anyone in this room have more than 3,000 images and videos on their phone? Well, we have one person. Last night, half the room raise their hand. So, and then have you ever gotten this message on your phone?
11.
Oh, I missed it. Well, whatever. Have you ever gotten the message that you're running out of storage?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So when you get that message, usually you panic because, shucks, what am I going to do? I'm going to start deleting pictures. It's the first thing people do. So don't delete your pictures. Call me. I can help you. So everybody says my pictures are in the cloud. And when they say that, I'm like, okay, well, let's go look at them. And they're like, well, they pick up their phone and look at it. I said, well, that's not the cloud, that's your phone. They don't know how to log in and get into their actual iCloud.com account. So if you have an Apple phone, go into iCloud.com using a laptop or a bigger device than your phone, and you can look at all your pictures and delete what you need to. It's much easier to see, especially as we get older. I'm taking my camera, these coming off and going on. So it's much easier on a laptop or a desktop device to go through. But these are all examples of iCloud storage, or cloud storage, I should say. But there's some unusual ones up there, like Facebook. People think their pictures are safe on Facebook. Well, about a month ago, Facebook crashed. And I got like text messages. Oh my God, Facebook is gone. Where are my pictures? What am I gonna do? You don't use Facebook as a way to store your pictures, because they could disappear. And once your pictures are in Facebook, they're compressed. So if you decide you want to make an 8x10 of that great sunset, you can't. It's all pixelated. It'll be all squished. It's squished down. Because they have a lot of pictures in there, so they have to make space for all of it. The next one that I am not fond of is Shutterfly. People are like, oh, my pictures were all in Shutterfly. Well, recently Shutterfly deleted accounts because people hadn't done anything. They hadn't uploaded, they hadn't bought anything. If you don't buy at least your annual Christmas card, they're going to delete your account. So they did end up giving people back some of it, but there's still some people that didn't get their photos. So be careful where you put your digital photos. Don't rely on Facebook and Shutterfly. That's not a good option. The other options are pretty good. Google Drive, I love Google because of my work and documents that you can share and people can fill out the application easily and all that. It's a little tricky with pictures. People were putting all their pictures in Google for free, and then the price went up. And then they're going to delete their pictures. I don't know if anybody in the room has used Google Photos. Yeah. Amazon is ruling the country with everything, right? You buy everything through Amazon. You can store your pictures there. Dropbox is another one, but that's an older one. It usually pops up on your computer to put your pictures in Dropbox. My experience is that people have pictures in iCloud, Amazon,
all over the place.
They come to me because they're like, I have so many pictures, I don't know what to do with them. And I don't know what's where. And they need the guidance, and I usually try to go through all that and help them with it. The company I partner with is Forever. I've learned the hard way. I've lost pictures in a few places. iCloud is not the end-all be-all like people think. It does falter, and people do lose their photos. My son himself, even though his mother has told him 100 times what to do, he did have his photos backed up in iCloud, but his phone, he couldn't charge it anymore. So instead of going and getting it checked, he got the charger where you stand up your phone and it can charge standing upright. It's like a magnetic thing. Well, a week later, he couldn't turn on his phone, it was fried, his entire iCloud was gone. They couldn't access it, it was not, I'm like, this makes no sense. So we learned the hard way, and I had someone in tears last night telling me that her phone, she has a new phone because her last phone, she lost all of her pictures in iCloud and they had to reset the whole thing. But she had thousands of pictures. So be careful where you store your stuff. I'll talk more about forever as we go along. I'm not going to go through all this, but look at the terminology of the terms of service for any company you use. It's the fine print. You go, you know, it shows up and it's like this long. And it's hard to read it on, you just agree. Nobody looks at the fine print, but iCloud can suspend or terminate your account at any time. Facebook owns your content, like I already mentioned. Shutterfly, we talked to death about that. Google Drive will sell your data to advertisers. It's a fact. Pictures will show up in ads, and they belong to people. But they own the photos. You do not own them. And Forever is the one I partner with because they provide guaranteed permanent cloud storage. And people are like, how do they guarantee that? I can talk to you more in detail about that. But you retain your digital rights, and you have privacy, and you share your account with who you want to. It's just a whole different world. If you are overwhelmed, see, this is not doing my things, but that's okay. That whole screen was about being overwhelmed because, number one, we have the iPhone, and a lot of people have old phones that they're saving because they have pictures on them. Then we have the laptop that there's pictures on there and thousands of files. You can't see the pictures, it's just little numbers, and people get frustrated that they don't have time. And then the last place is the pictures and the slides and the film reels and all those things you inherit as people in your life pass away. So someone ends up with all the stuff in the big box, and they usually need help with it. So that would be me. I try my best. So the first step in saving your memories is bring all those digital files together. Get the old laptop, get the old phone, get the chargers. Let's look at all of it and go through it. It's very emotional for people. So I talked to someone in January. They don't really reach out to me until August. And I'm very patient. I understand it's like pictures of people who have passed away, old videos and things like that. And people, it's a very emotional process to look at pictures. So, but you have to get all those things together. I tell them, just write it down and we'll find them after. And then you have to download all those files that you have uploaded in 65 places into one place. That's the process that I go through to try to help someone get organized. And then digitize anything physical that you want to. That's kind of optional. Some people are like, I can't be bothered. But if you have old slides and pictures and you want them digitized, I recommend doing it pretty quickly because they're all disintegrating right before our eyes, unfortunately. Okay. The next step is try to organize and make it some sort of organized collection. So I take everything. It's hard to explain my process because I go through and I delete the 35 pictures of sunsets and the sailboats, and I can do it, but the person who owns the pictures is afraid to do it. So I usually make a delete file if it's digital, or if it's physical photos, I make a delete box, and then they go through them and say, well, I really want this picture. Or, you know, I know it's fuzzy, but that's my grandmother's old cottage in Maine or whatever. I'm like, okay, then we'll keep that one. But I never throw away anything without clients going through it first and double checking. And the main reason that we need our pictures is because we need the stories. So everybody has stories from their relatives and pictures that go with it. But this generation coming, they're going to have pictures of their food and their faces. I mean, they just take pictures of themselves. And we're going to lose all that history. I don't know why, but I don't know why they've become so egocentric about themselves and how they look and what they're eating and sharing it all over social media. But when I organize, then we organize it by date or by vacation or whatever. And then, like I said, tell the story is the most important thing. I wonder if I do this. This works better. Okay. When you go on vacation, years ago people would go on vacation, they make all these slides, and then they invite the neighbors over for coffee and we're going to look at my slides. We don't really share our pictures. Or we might share a picture, but we don't sit down and have people over and show them our memories because we just don't do that. People, if someone knocks on your door, what's the first thing you do? You peek outside. You want to make sure that person is not someone like a Jehovah's Witness or someone selling you something. So you're peeking out the window, right? But it's important to share memories because if you go on vacation with someone, share those memories with them. And the reason it's hard is because when you want to email someone pictures, you can email 3 or 4. So it takes time to email all that, so people don't do it. But you can celebrate memories by, you can print photo books. That's one way to do it. And then share the book with someone. They can look at it. Or make different gifts you can make. But it helps to ensure that your family memories are going to be preserved for generations. Enter, not pause. So everybody have a couple of these external hard drives. Most people do. People think they last forever, but they don't. They have I think 2 to 5 year. They say 2 to 7 here, but they will die on you. You can't take them like you take your phone everywhere. You need to keep them like in a safe place on your desk so that when you need it, it's going to work. But if you're messing around with it, dropping it on the floor, it's like a mini computer. It will get wrecked. And I learned that the hard way. Another thing I learned. Plug in my external hard drive, ready to do something, and it's dead, and they couldn't retrieve any files for me. I'm like, this is crazy. Didn't make any sense to me. And you really, what you ideally should do is have an external hard drive. And then maybe in a couple of years buy another one, back that one up, if you want to do the external hard drives. Some people have 4 of them. I mean, it gets a little tedious, but if you want to do it that way, you can do it that way. So, ideally you're going to take all those digital memories that you have and put them in one place, and then it's easier to find them. They're organized by, you can make albums and things like that. Have them accessible from any device. That would be great. And they have to be easy and organized because people go through their phone looking for that picture from, 2013. I'm like, wait a minute, did you even have that phone back then? And Forever is the only company that offers all of this. It's all in one place. It's easy to find and organized, and it's easy to share with your family. So I tend to have families that buy Forever storage, and I'll go into that a little bit more. And they share it. So it's not just one person that owns it. My husband and I share an account. So his pictures that he takes go in automatically into a Forever account, as do mine. And then we go through and we delete the ones we don't want. We get on the computer, look at it, and delete them, and then organize them. So there's some little thing I'm supposed to say with this, but I'm not saying it. Basically, if this was your digital home, so you have one place where people can go and see your memories, and that's the whole premise of this. But you can own your storage instead of renting it. That's the whole point. And you can pass it down to future generations, which you cannot do with anything else. However, Apple, I noticed recently in Apple there is a legacy setting that you can add the name of someone, and then they have to approve it, and there has to be a QR code and a death certificate. There's a bunch of things you have to do, but it is in there now, so that's a good thing, step in the right direction. Because if someone's son passes away, you can't get your pictures off the iPhone if they haven't done that. So with Forever, you retain full ownership and all intellectual property rights of your content. And they provide a guarantee of preservation for your forever account and content and enable you to control how your content is preserved during your lifetime and after your death. So people say, well, how the heck do they do that? So in Forever, you choose account managers, and you can have 6 if you want. I have 3. The account managers will take over your account after you pass away. But while you're alive, they can also work in your account. They can help you upload, help you organize, make the albums, do all of that. It just makes it easier to have somebody to help do that sometimes. People usually choose their son or their sister. I have my sister, my son, and my husband. But my husband's like, I don't want anything to do. I can't do that. I don't want to be responsible. I'm like, all right. All right. Good. I like when it works. So Forever is different. And I've done a lot of research, trust me. The Guarantee Fund ensures that your memory is going to be preserved for your lifetime plus 100 years. And that sounds kind of fictitious, like 100 years, yeah, right. So Forever has been set up, and the way he set up the company was that all the money that comes in that's purchased for Forever storage, if you pay $100 for something, more than 70% of that money is going into an endowment fund, like colleges have. Most companies don't do that. So the money is there, and it's building, and it's helping to ensure that the company will go on. If for some reason there's some catastrophe, if he passes away, there's a multi-million-dollar account, and his family's involved in the business, and all of that. So the company is 12 years old now. But they have such a good product, they're easy to work with, and you get someone like me to help you, which is great. But the best thing is that you can pass down your memories, your stories, you can put all that in your account, and I'm going to show you my account shortly. How am I doing for time? All right. This compares different companies, so over here on the left are the different companies. I have to update this because iCloud does now have an option to pass down your account, but the others do not. So you can look, I can even send you this presentation so you can look at it, but the guarantee of your safety of your files, no data mining, option to pass down your account to family members. And then the thing that a lot of them have are the album collaboration. And what that means is that you can create an album and then have other people add pictures to it. So it's a collaborative project. Photo gift, that's what everyone has. Fully customized organization, SmugMug does have that. And then personal training with ambassadors is only Forever. Everybody else you have to call the help desk, if you're lucky, to get through. Okay. Okay. So this is kind of what an account looks like. I am going to go into it though. I'm hoping, oh good, I'm hoping I can click this link. Fingers crossed. If I can't, I'll go out of the PowerPoint and then come back to it. And when I work with people, this is not something I make you buy. It's just, it's the easiest one I found for people to work with. So the prices here are one-time investment. So what happens with Forever? You get an app that you can put on your phone or your laptop or whatever, and then you get the account. And then immediately you can start importing photos, whether you pay a one-time payment or a 24-month payment plan or whatever. What's easy about it is I love that I set it up, and any photo I take goes automatically into my Forever account. And I know it's backed up. So when I look like, oh, I've got like 500 pictures on my phone, I think I can delete them because they're all backed up in Forever. And then I can help you set up albums. I do all of that. I do Zoom training or one-to-one training with people. And I have brochures there and all that, but I might send someone an email with more information after this whole thing, because this was a mess, unfortunately. All right, yeah. So this is the app. It's forever.com app, and you go in. It won't work unless you have a Forever account. And I can set you up with the free 2 GB account just to play with it and see what it's all about. So, but it can auto sync with the camera roll, so it's very manageable to back up. You can organize on the go. I've been on the plane fixing my account, so I can't get on it here. And your photos will be waiting for you. So when people panic, so I went to the ATM recently, not recently, probably about 6 months ago, and I had my little bag, and I tucked it between the seat and the door. So I'm using the ATM, but I couldn't reach it, so I'd open the door. So my little purse fell out with my phone in it, and I didn't realize it and left. And a little while later, I'm like, oh, where's my purse? So it was at the bank, crushed. But all my photos were backed up. And I did have iCloud, so I still use iCloud as a backup for the pictures that are still on my phone. But then I turn everything over into forever.com. And it's a great way. It's so easy to share pictures from here. You can create a link and share pictures with people. Instead of sending them a big long email, you send them a link and a message and they can open it and download the pictures if they want. All right. I should have done slideshow, but I'll just do it the old-fashioned way here. All right. And this is kind of what I already said. I do in-home one-to-one consults with people. I have people I've been working with for 6 months. They have so much stuff. Or I can meet you via Zoom and help you, even with your iPhone, go through all that and get rid of the duplicates and all those things. We do offer, Forever offers photo restoration and colorization, which is what that little book is up front. If you want to thumb through it, if you have a special photo that you want to bring back to life, they have great artists that are working on those photos. And if you want a link to check out Forever and get the $20 coupon and the free account just to play, you can see me afterwards. This is my contact info, which you guys have most of my info anyway. This is my website, creativephotorescue.com. And a moment lasts all of a second, but the memory lives on forever, especially if you document it.
Right.
But, does anyone have any questions right now that I can answer?
I don't take pictures on my phone, very, very rarely. My pictures are done with a camera.
Okay, you have a digital, like an SLR?
It will go, to an SD drive or whatever.
Yeah.
Does Forever do those too, or is it mainly for phone photos?
No, any photos.
Any digital, so you upload it?
Yeah, I can do, if you have a card, I can upload that for you.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, that's easy to do. If you have camera cards from years ago, and they're in a little baggie, I want those. Because they are probably going to be dead. Those magnetic strips on there do not last forever. But a lot of people didn't know how to print their pictures, so they saved the little cards. Instead of taking it to Walmart or whatever and print the photos. But how many people in the room have an iPhone?
Who don't have an iPhone?
Who have an iPhone.
Oh, no, not me.
Yeah. So do you know, if you go to albums and you scroll down, there's a duplicates folder?
I didn't. I should check that out.
Yeah. When you check it out, you'll be shocked at how many duplicates you have. And when you go in, you can just, you go into the duplicates and it'll show them all. And basically, duplicates tend to be pictures that you took, even a burst, like you kept your finger down, or you took 3 pictures of a group and someone had their eyes closed. Forever, no. Apple will pick the best picture and save it and merge, get rid of the other ones. So it's a great way to clean up pictures on your phone instead of deleting good pictures when you get that bad message.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that you and your husband kind of cooperate and decide, you know, which photos to keep and which photos to you know, delete because they're not very good. My wife and I have, I think, you know, it's good that you both agree or most of the time agree because the challenge in our house is I think my wife errs on the side wanting to save absolutely everything, including the, you know, photos with the thumb in front of the lens, whereas I say that, you know, quality over quantity. So what's your advice in terms of kind of navigating that in terms of, you know, the quality over quantity? Because I think you deal probably a lot with people who just kind of keep absolutely everything, but then you're just awash in sort of pictures and you can't get your head above water. Yeah.
You really have to think about the most important pictures you want to keep. You don't want to have those pictures that are blurry and the thumb in the way and all that. It makes no sense. But there might be some other reason that she doesn't want to delete them.
Yeah.
Is that like the only picture and then it, you know, and if it's only one or two, that's fine, but if it gets to be a bit out of control.
I think some people are reluctant to delete any photo because they're worried that they'll make a mistake and then that photo will be gone forever. Yeah,
I think a lot of it is the knowledge, the lack of knowledge and people being confused. Like, I'm afraid I'm going to delete all of them if I do that. So how I kind of settled that is that I have an album in my account that's specific for old guy pictures, the old cars, jukeboxes. That's his world. Like, he takes so many pictures of old cars and he works on jukeboxes, so we have multiple pictures and it's like a little screw. I'm like, do we need this picture? He's like, no, you can delete it. But he takes pictures because as he's working on it, he wants to remember, and it's easier for him. But it gets to the point, like, okay, we gotta look through. And then I have a folder of pictures. I'm like, I have no idea what these are, and you need to look through and see if you need them or not.
I like that approach. I like having a delete folder. Yeah.
That's where they go, and then we sit down together and look through, and I'm like, do you really need this lawnmower picture? Because he took care of someone's lawnmower. I'm like, we don't need that picture. But I like to ask him. It's just, I don't want to go in and just delete it. So it's just the right thing to do. The thing with Forever that I really wanted to show you was that when the picture is in there, you can, on the right-hand side, it's called the light box, and you can put information in there. You can change the date. If it's a vintage photo, and you'll put approximate year it was taken. You can write the whole story. It's endless text you can put in there, showing, you know, the story behind that photo. You know, so it's, I love that. Really, really means a lot to me, especially when I'm looking at family history and trying to figure out who everybody is in the pictures that I've been trying to dig up. But, yeah.
I find it hard to believe, and I'm amazed that it happens, that so many of these companies that offer you storage retain and take ownership of your pictures. That's extremely invasive.
It is.
And I can't believe they do that. Now, my son does photography, and he does marvelous pictures.
Yeah.
But I keep telling him you need to do something with your pictures.
Yeah.
I don't know, make a calendar, frame them, put them in a bank, sell them. But someone else could take his pictures and do the same thing.
Yep. Yep. I showed somebody, like I took a picture from Facebook. I'm like, I took this guy's picture and I made a puzzle with it and I sold it to 3 people. I'm like, that's not my picture. And, you know, and then I told him after the fact, I'm like, I borrowed your picture to try to do this and make a point that people can take your pictures and do what they want with them because they're out there in social media. So don't put pictures of your baby and all that. I mean, I hate that. You know, it's okay to have one photo, but not the whole life of your child on Facebook.
What about the the USB stick?
Yeah.
I mean, at least you retain your pictures.
So a USB is like the external hard drive. It's just a little stick.
Yeah.
And you can back up pictures on there, but they're very easy to lose. That's the biggest problem with the little flash drives. People throw them in their purse or in their pocket. It ends up in the laundry. So,
And they do
if
break,
peop-
and they do break.
and they do break. Then supposed to be, that's all temporary. External hard drives are temporary, flash drives are temporary. The real thing, if you don't want to buy anything special, print the pictures you want and put them in a bank, in a safety deposit box or something. Like, save your pictures, because the cloud and all those companies don't really care about your pictures. They'll send you an email. How many people check their email every day? No, nobody. They'll send you an email saying, oh, your credit card expired, you have to update your credit card. If you don't do it, then they delete your account.
Wow.
So, yeah. Any other questions? I can show you where that duplicate thing is.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is great. This is
We have
really,
time,
really,
yeah.
really
Interesting.
useful. Learned a lot.
All right, that's it. We'll wrap it up.
But yeah,
Thank you
it's
very much.
fascinating. It's amazing what they come up with nowadays.
Oh,
Obviously, there was definitely a need for this.
there's a huge need for it.
Oh, yeah.
And that's kind
Absolutely.
of, the gentleman who came up with this company, his name is Glenn Meekum. His whole information is on the website and you can look at it, but he was looking for a place that he could put all his pictures and then share them with his family. And he kept reading all the terms of service and there was all this garbage in there. But most of us, like I said, we don't really read it, we just agree and go on, you know, because you can't even see it on your phone especially. So that's why
So what is the cost of Forever? I couldn't read the print.
Oh, sorry.
What does that cost? About,
It depends how many gigabytes you need. So
Okay.
what I normally do, I look at your phone and see how many pictures you have. So that gives me an idea how many pictures you normally take. Some people don't take 1,000 pictures a month, but other people take 3,000 a month. So it will depend how much storage you need. I can look, I'll grab my phone and I can tell you exactly. Because now do I have my presentation still here? Maybe I can open it again, but you could buy 10 gigs and then add on. You pay for it once, unless you have to add on. I tell people, likely you're gonna need 25 to 50 gigs. And it's better to just buy that instead of buying 10 and then you buy 10 again and you end up paying more than buying the 25 up front. So I don't think there are prices in this little book.
Yes. What would be 25 to 50 gigs? What was the price for that?
Yeah, I'm gonna go grab my phone and I can tell you.
Okay.
Since I can't get on the internet, I don't think this price is in there. I'll grab my phone.
But it is interesting because it is like an insurance policy or
Yeah.
something that you pay up front, but then it guarantees this, you know, benefit over, you know, the long term, a very long
I
term.
just
Right.
can't get over the fact that
Yeah.
just because you choose this place to put your pictures, now they own them.
Well, have you heard the phrase that if you're not paying for the product,
Right.
you are the product?
Exactly.
I think with things like with Apple or Google or any of these other services, you know, obviously even when you're paying with a product, you're not paying the full cost that it, of
Yeah.
covering the storage. Because remember, they have these big storage facilities right out in the Midwest that require a lot of power and so forth. So if you're not paying the full cost of that, then they're defraying the cost essentially through a variety of means, either by closing your account if there's no activity,
Yeah.
or
Advertising.
advertising
You're dealing
based
with
on, you know,
ads, yeah.
sort of, you know, essentially having a way to sort of like look at your photos and see if you are interested in cats and then trying to sell you cat food, that type of stuff. So there's stuff that's sort of annoying but not, you know, the end of
Yeah.
the world. I mean, if I don't know what someone would try to sell me, you know, based on my interests.
Well, it's interesting though,
Yeah.
if you search for something on Google, like you will get all those ads
Oh,
A
sure.
minute.
for those
Yeah.
bathing suits or whatever, it's crazy.
Yeah, and you notice that if you search for something
Right.
recently, like an air conditioner,
Yes.
and then for the
Yeah.
next 2 weeks, it will be
Oh,
like,
I know,
yeah,
you get
yeah,
blasted.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Buy air conditioner.
All right, let me get the, so the cost for, so 25 gigs would give you enough space to hold up to 12,500 photos. So if you have a lot more,
Right.
you probably need more. If you have a
Yeah.
lot of video, you might need more. The general, like big families always have tons of video and all that, so they always need like 100
Video
gigs.
tends to-
But 25 gigs is $349.99.
Uh-huh.
That's a one-time payment that you pay.
Right.
50 gigs is $529. But you can also pay in 24-month installments, so 25 gigabyte account paid monthly is $16.99. So you pay that for 2 years, basically. And the 50 gig would be $25.99. Of course, we all know if you do a payment plan, you're going to end up paying a little bit more.
Right, exactly, of
It's
course.
not astronomically
No.
more, but it is more.
Right.
But it makes it more affordable for people, so.
But if you're paying for Google storage or Dropbox storage or Apple storage, you're probably paying that already.
Yeah,
Yes.
and people don't even know what they're paying.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, until
Yeah.
they,
It's a scary world out there, really. It really is. This is my business card, and this, if you go to this link, if you just type in this link in whatever browser you use, then you can set up that free account and try it out, and then we can talk too.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not
That's
interested,
on this one. so
yeah,
you'll have to
that's
add it
more
next
my
time.
personal-
Yeah, that's more your personal.
but this is more the forever.
Oh, God.
So the link's at the bottom there. And you don't have to put a credit card in or anything, you're just looking, right? So you'll have to put an email in, and then they confirm your email, and then you'll get a $20 coupon, which is enough to digitize a VHS tape if you want to do that. So, or buy a mug or two. They also do a lot of print products and things like that.
Yeah, photo books are great. I've been
Photo
making, I
books.
was telling someone before, I just
Yeah.
made one for my kids, so for the year of 2016.
Yeah.
Kind of like in lieu of a photo album, and someday
It's
I'll get
great.
around to making 20, I'll work my way forward in years and hopefully catch up to myself.
Well, I'm in the scrapbooking world, and I'm way behind.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah. But
Does the photo book with text, or is it basically just pictures?
You can do either. I like to do a little bit of text for the reasons that Carol was saying, just to kind of remember what this is, for future
Right.
future
When was
generations.
this taken?
Yeah, and they're
Where
not-
were we?
And you can obviously get different kinds. I mean,
Yeah.
the ones I get are essentially small coffee table books that are hard copy. Maybe they have 30 or 35
Yeah.
pages. Anything more than that, and it starts to get a little out of
If
control.
it gets too big,
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
interesting, the books that you could print for your own amusement or to distribute for a small circle of friends. The ones I've looked at online, I think what is Lulu and Blurb.
Yeah, there are
Two.
different ones.
there's companies like that,
I use
yeah, that
one of the
make those.
services that is actually just attached to Apple Photos.
Oh, I
but
see.
you can use that. There's so many different ones.
Yeah.
And they all essentially work the same.
yeah. Yeah, Forever has a book that it's an auto book. You just put your pictures in order in the album that's, in the account.
Right.
And then you just say you want to add those to the album. It'll add them, it'll put all of them in the book in the order that you set them up.
Oh, right.
So it makes it really easy for people that are like, I don't want to learn all that. It's too much. I don't want to play with, adding embellishments. And you don't do any of that. It's very straightforward and easy. But it's a good way to, preserve the stories again.
Are these
And
some Azorian
these-
photos?
Yeah, this is,
wonderful.
this is just a photo of my mother
Uh-huh.
here, and then her siblings. Some of her siblings, there's a couple missing. These people had so many kids. And so my mother had this photo for years, and my uncle's face is all smushed and messed up.
Oh,
So I sent it in to see what they could do, and they did. They were
that's
able
really
to
nice.
colorize and restore it. So
oh,
but that's like the only picture I have. So
Yes.
Wow.
it was so worth it to do it.
Oh, they did a really nice job with it.
Yeah, and my uncle in the middle, we had no pictures of him, so.
Yeah, and
It's
they,
like,
and
that
they-
looks just like him, they did it right.
And they sort of, what's the word, they predicted the colors based on really
Yes.
the green of the foliage
Yeah,
and
and
working
then
from
when
there.
you send in your photo, you tell them it was taken, that was taken on the island of Fayal, so,
Right.
and the year was taken and all that, and they can figure out what color the clothing might have been and whatnot. Yeah.
It's amazing what they can do nowadays.
Yeah, they have artists actually working on the faces, because it's hard to I will edit photos for people, but I can't do that.
It's basically a
Wow.
historical preservation technique. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really interesting. No, this is great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so there's a few pictures in there you can thumb through, but that's
And
another.
amazing.
I found I only have 4 duplicates on
Look
my
at the
phone.
That's
so
good.
I
You
felt-
found- you
yeah,
found the
I found
file.
them.
Oh,
I
good.
found them, so I
That's
feel very
great.
so
You
well.
must have been deleting them along the way.
I can't claim to be that clever. I guess I just, you know.
Yeah, someone last night had 464
Oh, yeah.
duplicates.
No,
Oh,
it's easy.
my.
It's easy to get.
I don't
to.
even have that many photos. I probably have
Like,
maybe
how the heck
20.
do you do that?
I don't take pictures with my phone.
Yeah, you don't use your phone to take pictures.
I
yeah.
use it for everything else.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
want to find out where Kevin's got his pictures now. That
And the,
just blew my mind.
Do you have files in your phone? Like
No.
someone sends you a document, you don't save a
Oh,
file?
with if I download, but generally no. I have a tablet that if I want, because it's small.
It's hard to
My
read,
tablet
yeah.
is what I play with at
Yeah,
work,
yeah.
at lunch. Facebook is a lot nicer when the screen is this
When you're-
big.
when
I
you're-
know.
have a bigger
That-
screen,
so you can
yeah.
check the
Yeah.
fabulous North Reading Facebook historical society Facebook page. That Judd's been very. He's an
That's
active
good.
active fan. So yeah.
But
that's
in
good.
general, I get aggravated with a phone and a tablet because it's not Windows. And
Yeah,
and
so
so
it's
you
yeah.
can't do anything with it. It just
Yeah.
frustrates the hell out of me. But, you know, I can look at Facebook, I can look at my emails, and
Yeah.
I can, you know,
Yeah.
stuff like
Well, that's
that.
what
but
most
I-
people are doing on the computer. They're not doing any, like gaming or whatever, like some people do. So you need something that's gonna be reliable for your
Yeah.
email and all that. But as long as you check your email. So, anyone have any questions?
No.
Thank you
Yeah.
so
Thank you
much.
very much.
Great.